Hello and welcome to the John Ark Show. Today's episode is called, Is the Stock Market Still Safe? On this episode, we're going to answer some really interesting viewer questions. Before we begin, I want to encourage you to subscribe, like, comment, and follow us. We're going to have a lot of great celebrity interviews coming up, so I encourage you to click on that notification bell so you can be notified every time we upload a new episode. I'd also like to tell you about a service called HollywoodIsCalling.com. It's a great service that allows you to purchase live phone calls from your favorite celebrities. So check it out. A live 15-second call is $19.95 and a live 30-second call is $29.95. It's something you can buy as a gift for yourself or for somebody you know. HollywoodIsCalling.com. Now, let's get started. Here's the first viewer question. There's been a lot of strangeness in the stock market lately. Do you believe the stock market is still safe to invest in? Back in the 30s, reporters asked gangster Al Capone if he invested in the stock market. Al responded by saying, "No way, that's where the real gangsters are." And then everybody laughed. But the thing is that Capone got his point across. Recently, a lot of inexperienced millennials were disturbed to see what was going on in the stock market as some app-based stock trading services were restricting their customers' abilities to buy stock. There were loud cries of market manipulation and unfairness. There were demands for more government regulation, and everybody was finger-pointing. The truth of the matter is that the stock market, like most markets, has almost always been heavily manipulated and never really been fair. Think that's an exaggeration? Walk into any casino and start winning too much money for too long a period of time and see what happens. Eventually, they will terminate your right to play there. I believe the moral of this story is that people need to stop expecting fairness and honesty and ethical behavior when it comes to large amounts of money. And they need to get more paranoid and cautious, or they will lose everything. Most importantly, do not put the majority of your wealth into one or two investments, because the possibility of losing it all when things go south rises dramatically. Next question. When it comes to business and careers, should I pursue the money or my passion? Our culture is very fond of telling people to always pursue their passion when it comes to careers or money, but that's not always the case. I believe that you should always focus on the path to money rather than the path to happiness that everyone claims will lead you to prosperity eventually. There are countless artists, musicians, actors, clothing designers, chefs, all sorts of people out there who are passionate about what they're doing, but who are broke and who will continue to be broke because they are pursuing a goal which has too high of a probability of failure. I think everybody should pursue a job or a career that has a higher probability of putting food on your table, and then pursue what they're passionate about on the side or on the weekend. You can always do both, but you have to be realistic about which one you put most of your time and energy into first, because it will yield the greatest financial benefits over time. Number 3, where do you think some of the greatest financial opportunities will reside in the next year or two? Well, I don't give financial advice, but a lot of people who are in that business believe that there is a lot of money soon to be made in online sports betting. Others believe that investing in residential real estate is going to be very promising once this pandemic is over and the economy opens back up again. A lot of other people believe that the US dollar is continuing to lose value, so they're putting their money into real assets like land, companies, gold, silver, and other assets, especially assets that are generating positive cash flow. Next question. If I'm moving out of California, where do you think is the best place to relocate to? Well, the vast majority of people are moving to Nevada, Texas, Tennessee, and especially Florida. They're all moving for the same reasons. California's high crime, high taxes, homelessness, overregulation, and all the other reasons. All these things are combining to reduce the quality of life for most people in California to near zero. Next question. Why and how did Elon Musk become the richest man in the world? Well, Elon is a super innovator. He is constantly developing new technologies and products which are disrupting industries and creating jobs and tremendous new wealth and opportunities. His Starlink satellite-based internet company is expected to be making an estimated $100 billion a year in time by providing people with no internet access the ability to get online with his new service. With Tesla, his electric car service, he is constantly improving the quality of the batteries he produces, and this will only strengthen the sale of his vehicles and his product lines. There are a lot of companies in the marketplace which make money by saving their customers money, but Elon Musk changes the entire playing field by introducing new products and services that are revolutionary, and that is where his ability to draw vast numbers of new customers comes from. Next question. What do you think is the future of social media? Well, that really depends on how they behave, how they treat people. Will they treat people fairly, or will they treat people unfairly? If they treat people unfairly going forward, then eventually the government will step in and they'll begin to regulate. Next question. A lot of people are going stir crazy and getting cabin fever. What do you think they should do? First of all, I believe the economy is opening up in many places and that this trend will continue. But until your area is fully open, I believe that people should exercise in any way they can, whether that's indoors or outdoors. I also think that people should use Skype or Zoom or FaceTime to communicate regularly with their family and friends, because not only is that very healthy, but it will continue to strengthen the bonds with all those people and all those connections you have. And that is really necessary in trying times and when things are going well as well. Next question. What do you think of the idea of starting or opening a new church? I think that starting a new church can be challenging and very rewarding at the same time. One thing to remember is that these days you don't need a building to start a new church. With all the social media and the video conferencing apps out there, you can start one online and build it that way. Then, when it's large enough, you can lease out or purchase a building somewhere and start to grow your own physical church as well. Next question. Is it possible to make a decent living by doing freelance work on some of the gig job sites out there? Answer. That depends on what you mean by decent living. I know that there are people out there who are working 2 or 3 gig jobs and making enough money to pay their rent and their bills until they find a full-time job. There are also a lot of people out there who have a full-time job and are still hanging on to their part-time gig jobs because they want or they need extra income, and that's always an option for them. I want to thank our viewers for watching and tell you that we're going to have more great celebrity interviews and more breaking news stories coming up in the future. So we want to encourage you to subscribe to our channel and click on the notification bell so you can get notified every time we post a new story. Thank you for watching.